Okay, I think we're live. Let me double check my mic. Mic is looking good. Okay, cool. Do I have any filters on my microphone? I do not. Let's do a little noise suppression. Just a little bit. There we go. Cool. Let's make sure we're live on TikTok. And we are. Let me just double check the audio on this really quick. Let me mute myself. And we're good. Sounds great, actually. Okay. I'm gonna put on the little starting screen, and then we'll get started here in a second. Let's keep tapping that screen, y'all. Thanks for joining in. Let's get it going. Okay, today we are live streaming on TikTok, Facebook, and anywhere else? Let me check. I think, yeah, YouTube. There we go. So 3 different spots today. We got the multi-streaming back up. So we'll be streaming out to multiple platforms from here on out. So wherever you like to usually watch your stuff, we'll have it available for you. And yeah, so we appreciate you, coming through, taking the time. All right. Just gonna give it a few more seconds here, let some people get in the room. So as you come in, make sure you're tapping the screen. If you're on TikTok or if you're on the other platforms, sure you leave a comment or anything like the stream, all that good stuff. We're about to start here. Welcome in, Anna. Let's see. So yeah, today we're live streaming on the RMU Foundation's FB page, and that's pretty cool because now we're gonna get this content out to people on Facebook as well, because there's a lot more people on Facebook than these other platforms. But I gotta keep saying FB, right? I gotta say FB, because we like it here on TikTok, right? So TikTok, has some pretty good reach there. Not too many people are really looking at crypto and whatnot on TikTok here, but that's okay too. I'm here to help that out, to help show what's going on, because with Web3, I'm telling you guys, things are about to really start picking up soon here. And once you are hearing about how already everything is taken off, you're going to be trying to scramble and, get into this stuff when it's already pretty much too late. And I don't want that to be the case for you guys, because this stuff is basically entering in just about every aspect of our lives. So much so to the point that, we're going to have to interact with it pretty much no matter what. Like, there's going to be systems implemented that, require Web3 systems for just about every daily activity that we have. So really, really, I encourage you to stick around. Check out what we got going on here and learn about Web3, because this is a very important thing. And we're doing it free here too, right? So you don't have to pay anything, nothing like that. Just hang out with me here, share the stream out, like the stream, leave some comments if you have any questions, and that'll help push things along. So let's get things going here. All right. Welcome in, Kira. Welcome in, Alex. Thanks for joining in. We're about to get started. We're going to be looking at part 2 of the presentations, and then doing a quick market update, because we had some movements happen since the last time. So yeah, let's get into it. All right. And really quick too, just remember that this is... All right, here we go. This stream is sponsored by the RMU Foundation. So please check out what we got going on there. We've got different projects that we're doing through the RMU Foundation, including this one, Web3Webs. and other ones like the Digital Food Project, where we provide food for people experiencing homelessness, and other ones as well. So go ahead and check out, what you got everything we got going on there, and help support too. We got different things that you can do to help support us there. But let's get into it. This is Web3Webs here. I'm Expo Hiti. I'm a musician, artist, farmer, Web2 and Web3 developer. I do a whole lot of different stuff, right? But I'm here today to help provide this free resource to you, to help, kind of level the playing field. For the most part, a lot of this information is in walled gardens, or behind a paywall, where people will actually charge you thousands of dollars, upwards of, to learn this exact information that you can actually find for free if you go and you look around in the right places. And of course, you have to go and search around to all kinds of different places to find everything that you're looking for if you really want to get a deep dive into it. There are some resources that are coming out now, as well, that are a little bit more on the free side, but do require some, like for your credit card to be put on there, or for you to sign up, or whatever it is, right? They're requiring you to do something extra to get some information from you that they could sell, or trying to make money off of you in some way before they actually provide you that information. So we're eliminating that here. I may be, kind of pissing some people off, but oh well, you know what I mean? Whatever. I'm going to keep doing it because I think it's important. I myself, I'm a person who has a quote unquote disability, right? I'm an able, what's it called? Not really disabled, but I'm disabled, but you know what I mean? What do they call it? I'm able, there's like a way that they twist it around. I can't think of it right now, but they make it sound better than what it is. I'm not, I have a disability, but I don't let it control me, is basically what I'm trying to say. So, I have, had a lot of struggles with all kinds of different things that go along with that. And, having something like this is really, really important to understand how these financial systems work, how I can interact with it, and how I can actually build something from the comfort of my own home that can actually bring me an income, right? So I think that's very important, especially as the economy continues to develop into, not develop, I guess it's kind of just falling apart at the moment. But we can't really control that, right? Because the people in power are doing their own little games. So we kind of have to figure out what we're going to do outside of that. And that's kind of what's going on here. Web3 is basically a global system, right? It's not focused on one country specifically. So Web3 is not focusing only on the United States. It's actually a global, worldwide system, where people can exchange value based off of what they perceive to be valuable, and the different technologies that are being built upon these platforms. So in the other one we kind of went through, let's see, so this is our website here. You can actually go and check this out whenever you want, at Web3Webs.page, but we're going to be just going through it here today for you to also be able to answer some questions. So if you have any questions at all during this time, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and I'll answer them as best as I can. If I don't know the answer, obviously I'm going to go and help, and try and figure it out too, because I need to learn this stuff as well. I'm trying to learn it constantly. Even the final presentation here isn't completed, right? I'm still working on this, you know what I mean? So it's not like this is all just said and done. This is like you're at the edge of the technology field here, right? This is cutting edge stuff, and it's constantly developing and changing every day. So here we are. We already finished the first one. If you missed those, you can go back and watch the first 3 episodes, or just review the first presentation yourself and get the information from this one, because it's going to be building up from the previous one into the next one, and it's going to continue as a trend going forward. So make sure that you do, go step by step, because the information in the next presentation is going to be heavily dependent upon the first presentation's information. So if you miss that out, you might be a little bit lost once we get into this. So it's okay if you have questions too. You can go ahead and drop them, and I'll ask them or answer them too as we go through it. But I do encourage you to go back and check out the first presentation. So you can click right on there. You don't have to sign up, nothing like that. Remember, I told you, you could, like I show you right here, go to Web3Webs.page. You don't have to do this right now because I'm doing it for you. So just stay here on the live stream, keep tapping that screen. So once you get to the website here, Web3Webs.page, you see we've got all of our socials there, blah, 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 right? All the different stuff. There's step one, there's step two, you just click it. You don't sign up, you don't pay, you don't put your credit card, nothing. You just literally click it and you go straight to it. So, all right. Who we got here? Original Gardener says What's wrong, Original Gardener? You look upset. Is this, you don't like this kind of stuff? It's okay. This is a lot of stuff. It's a lot of information. It's new stuff. Can be a little bit stressful too. I know I definitely get stressed trying to learn about all the different things that are going on, but I love it. I love learning new things, especially since I know this is definitely where things are moving. I want to be prepared. I want to have everything ready before this shift happens over to Web3. Because we're still kind of in the middle phase right now. We're kind of at like a Web 2.5 phase, right? And we'll get into what all this means. What is Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, right? What are all these things, right? We'll get into that actually in this presentation. So stick around and drop any questions if you have any. I'm here to help. All right, keep tapping that screen too. Let's get us some to a decent amount of likes on the live stream. Thanks for joining in, Yer Scott Garcia, everybody who's coming through. And let's see. So we're going to keep it going, just following in the exact order of the presentation. Start with the first one, the vocabulary check. That way we can get some, brush up on the different words that are going to be used in this presentation so you can understand what I'm talking about when I explain things so that it's not kind of just all over the place, right? So, all right. The invention of the internet was Let's do this. Let me read over here, right? Oh, no, I can do that. That's fine. The invention of the internet was a revolutionary event in history, although many at the time did not feel this way. Many believed the internet was just going to be a fad, but now it is used for so many things that it is almost considered a basic necessity to survive in society. Those who saw the signs of how revolutionary this new technology was and took part in it went on to be some of the most successful people today. The early stage of the internet is known as Web 1, while the more modernized version is known as Web 2. And the new technologies being created and utilized now is known as Web 3, which I'll explain more a little bit later. So we're most familiar with Web 2. That's what we're using right now, right? You're seeing through this screen on a normal 2D screen, right? This is Web 1, or excuse me, Web 2. And Web 1 was the previous one, so we'll get into that. Web 1.0 refers to the original state of the internet when it was first created to connect the world faster. Its usability was very limited because of a few things. You could only read information that was put up on already verified networks. So you're unable to make your own stuff. It's only the people basically who are building this that are really having access and putting stuff out there. It was very expensive at the time to own a computer if you were even able to find one because there were so few of them. It was a brand new technology that required people to learn a new skill because this is completely foreign, right? This is something that is brand new. You had to teach people how to use a keyboard, how to use a mouse, all these different things because this was unheard of before. So things that come so natural to us now, right? I mean, kids basically come out of the womb playing on a tablet now. That's not the case in the past. They had to literally take training because it wasn't so common. Oops, let me go back in here. The internet was first created in 1962 by MIT computer scientist J.C.R. Licklider and the U.S. Department of Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, also known as ARPA. You probably heard that sometime in the past. It was first known as ARPANET, and we'll get into that too sometime, I think, later. So that was Web 1, right? The beginning stage of the internet when it first started coming out. Now we're getting into Web 2. And the upgraded version of Web 1 is basically Web 2, right? Now, instead of just being able to read, people are able to host their own websites, making it possible to also write, right? So although it was still very limited in the beginning, it expanded to more capabilities over time, such as web building services, email, and JavaScript for animation or images on websites. So stuff like what we're using right now, right? So like TikTok and YT and all the other things that we use, right? All of that kind of stuff really started to come out in Web 2. And ARPANET also was decommissioned in, I believe it's ARPANET, I forgot an A there, was decommissioned in 1990, and the first World Wide Web is launched, right? The WWW. The world is now more connected than ever before, but it is only capable of two-dimensional spaces on computers, right? Nothing 3D yet. So that's another, important fact. Now, domains. And remember too, if I'm going too fast here, you can always stop me, ask a question. I'm watching the comments here. So welcome in Michael, welcome in everybody who's coming through. And yeah, ask me any questions if you have at any time. I'll see them here in the chat here. Let me pull up. Yeah, so I got the multi-stream chat, so I'm making sure I'm not missing anything on the other ones too. Okay, cool. So a domain or domain name address is a sequence of letters and numbers that point to a website or a digital wallet. More on digital wallets later in the course. Most often commonly known and used domains are .com, .net, .gov, right? Stuff like that, the stuff that you're familiar with. In the Web 2.0 space, that's the Web 2.0 space, excuse me. And in the Web 3 space, there's other ones like .eth, .crypto, .tez. And we'll explain that later on too. But here's an example, right? So my personal website is www.expohidi.com, World Wide Web, expohidi.com, computer, right? That's the normal Web 2 address. But I also have a Web 3 address, expohidi.eth, and that stands for Ethereum, ETH. And that's dealing with blockchain and on the Web 3 stuff and connects to all of that. Now, my Web 3 domain also does connect to my Web 2 domain, but that's something we'll get into later. It's a bit more advanced. So that's domains, right? Dealing with web addresses and stuff like that. And consensus. So consensus is when all members of a group or part of a system must come to an agreement in order for decisions to be made. And this will come up later in relation to how a blockchain works. Okay. Welcome in, Fuchsia. Thanks for joining. Everybody who's coming through, please make sure you're tapping that screen, share the live out to a friend, get this information out there. I'm doing all this for free. You can find all of the information as well in these presentations completely for free. No sign up, no payment, nothing like that. You just go to the website and it's there. Or you just come to the live streams every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time about. Sometimes I get started a little bit late because I have a lot of different things I'm doing, but I will get it started around, that time, 3 p.m. Central. So come on through, you can put it on your calendars or even just, follow the page so you can get notified when I go live again. And you'll get all the information and stuff and you'll be able to ask your questions. Now, let's move on to ledger. So a ledger is a document, book, or program that records and displays the transactions of financial accounts. And again, remember, if you're new, if you're hopping in just now, I'm Expo Hiti. I'm a musician, artist, farmer, Web 2 and Web 3 developer. So I do a lot of different stuff, providing this free resource to you. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments at any time, all right? So that I can clarify or anything like that. Let's move on to immutable. So immutable is when information cannot be changed over time easily or not at all. And this is in reference to blockchain. Blockchains are inherently immutable as long as they're made to be so. Sometimes they're not. But that's pretty much the whole premise of blockchain. It's one of the selling points, right? So validators. Validators receive transactions that are requesting to be added onto the blockchain and verify that all the information is correct. Once the transaction is processed and verified, it is sent to a node, and we'll get into that in a sec, for the next step in the process. Now, Nodes is over here, so we got one more before we get there. Miners, blockchain miners do not mine for physical gold or gems, right? Anything like that. They run computers that act as nodes. We just said that, right? To process transactions, remember, and maintain the blockchain. So it's processing the transactions, keeping the blockchain running. These computers calculate complex equations and reward the miners with small amounts of crypto for their efforts. So all these blockchain mining computers are running, right? They're processing transactions and they're getting rewarded with crypto. Maybe that's Bitcoin, maybe that's Ethereum, whatever it may be. And there's different ways that that happens too, which is getting back into consensus, but we'll come back to that later. Next one up is nodes. So a little bit further into the detail on that one. Nodes receive transactions from validators and add them to the blockchain, often done by miners who are then paid a reward with a small amount of crypto like we just mentioned. Then we've got hashing. Hashing refers to the process of converting data of any size into a fixed string of characters using a mathematical algorithm. So it's making them certain characters using an algorithm, kind of like what TikTok does, right? With your live streams. This unique hash value is a digital fingerprint of the data, ensuring security and integrity. In blockchain, hashing is used to securely link blocks, as each block's hash is derived from the data of the previous block, creating a tamper-evident chain, right? So it's very hard to change the information within it. This makes it nearly impossible to alter, right, any part of the blockchain without changing the entire chain, which maintains the blockchain's immutability, which we just talked about, and trustworthiness. So basically hashing is taking all of this transaction data, converting it into a string of letters and numbers that's easily readable by the blockchain, and it puts it into a sequence connected together, right, by the previous transaction, so that if anything is changed, now the entire thing is changed, and the blockchain basically says, hold on, there's a problem here, this is not correct, and it does not process the next transaction. So it's stopping any type of fraud from even happening. All right, keeping moving forward. Thank you for joining in. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. We're learning about Web3 today. We're on presentation 2, so we are moving a little bit forward now, but it's okay. You can stick around. You can check out the other ones after we're done as well. When you go back, make sure you go to the first one. There we go. All right. Hashing, we just got that one. I don't think we have any questions about that, but next one is dApps. So dApps is not dApps, right? It's not dapping somebody up. It stands for decentralized application, which are Web3 apps that run using blockchain technology, often completely run by computer servers and smart contracts, which is explained more later. So usually you're gonna actually find majority of the things that you do within Web3 are running on dApps. And that's actually preferable. If you're not, now it depends. There's some things that are kind of like a Web 2.5, right? It still is a Web 2 base, but has Web 3 capabilities. So like, for example, my personal website, I have a Web 2 based website, but I have Web 3 stuff connected in there, like NFTs and the metaverse and stuff like that. But it's not inherently Web 3. It's not completely based on the blockchain. So dApps basically are something different. It's completely based and runs on the blockchain. And all right, smart contracts, and it's using, right, so it's on the blockchain and it's using smart contracts, which are basically, lines of code, and we'll get into that in a second. But BIP is the next vocabulary word. I guess you could say, or acronym. There's a lot of acronyms. BIP stands for Bitcoin Improvement Proposal, which are often prepared by miners of the Bitcoin blockchain to suggest upgrades that will then be voted on, explained more later. So like BIP 1155, BIP whatever, they add a number to it for the proposal number. And then the people who run the blockchain, who are part of everything, can vote on these proposals to upgrade the blockchain and make changes if needed. Because as time goes on, right, things change. We're on the forefront of technology here, right? Things are changing constantly. So next up, we've got Metaverse. And for those of you who are joining in, thank you for joining in. Make sure you are tapping that screen. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'm watching to make sure I can catch them. But all right, Metaverse. We're learning about Web3 today, by the way. That's what I forgot to mention. But next vocabulary word is Metaverse, which is the digital universe, any digital space where people are able to meet and interact freely, most often referring to three-dimensional metaverses, such as virtual reality, augmented reality, extended reality, or mixtures of the three. Like right now, for example, technically we're in a metaverse, right? You're viewing and speaking and you could send a comment to me, so you'll be speaking to me, right? We're here connecting through a digital medium. So technically this is a metaverse, but it's a two-dimensional metaverse, right? It's just the screen. We're not actually having a three-dimensional aspect to it like it would be with virtual reality or augmented reality, all these other things. So that's where the metaverse actually comes into play. And what usually people are referring to when they say metaverse is the 3D parts of it. All right. Gas fees. And this is something that once you get more into Web3 and you learn about this stuff, you're going to hear about gas fees all the time. Oh, what's the gas fees today? I'm going to wait for the gas fees to go down. And you'll see what I mean. We're not talking about actual gas here. Blockchain gas fees are payments made by users of the blockchain to compensate for the computing energy required